Ciao amici e benvenuti all'ultima lezione di questo corso. Come aprire e stendere l'impasto della pizza e come assemblare e cuocere una pizza classica su Pix 2 Flix. Hello friends and welcome to the final lesson of this course, how to open and stretch the pizza dough and how to assemble and bake a pizza classica on Pix 2 Flix. Well, here is where everything quite literally comes together. In episode 1 of this special series, we explored in detail how to make the pizza dough and how to roll the dough balls. In segment 2, we show how to make a delicious and simple sauce for our pizza, and in this, the third and final episode, we'll take the dough balls out of the refrigerator for a couple hours, open them up and stretch them. We'll then show how I make the ultimate pizza classica, the pizza margherita, by topping with Fior di Latte fresh mozzarella, our sauce, and some fresh basil. After topping my margherita, we'll bring it out to our Blackstone Pizza Oven, and I'll bake it at 800 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, so our dough's been sitting in the refrigerator for the last 3 days, getting nice and puffy and nice and tasty. And now it's time to remove it from the container, roll it out. I don't roll it, just kidding. Spread it out, stretch it, top it, and get it in the oven. Here's what she looks like. It's pretty good. You want to be really gentle. You don't want to person handle this dough because it's been working really hard to build up a lot of gas and lightness in there. So if you manhandle it, that'll go away. A little dusting flour on the top. This is Spolverina. That's very finely ground semolina flour. Hard to find. So I'm gonna get my bench scraper. I'm just gonna turn this guy over and put him in the flour. A little flour on the bench here. Very gently, I'm going to turn them over again. And the part of the dough ball that was on the top originally that's what we want to use as our bottom. That's the nice smooth part of it, and we want to use that for our bottom. So I'm going to set that part on the bench just like this. And very gently, I'm going to push out from the center to the edge. Now the edge is going to be building up what we call the Cornicione. It's the crust around the outer side. And we want to push the air very gently again outward and make a little line here. And you can already see that that's still got a lot more air in it. And we're trying to build up a finger width for the Cornicione. We'll flip it over and we'll do the same thing. Pushing out from the center to the edge. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees and go at it again. You can see just little bubbles in here. That's nice. Here's the good side. This will be our downside. You can see the little bubbles dotting inside here. And this is pretty much all you do. Keep pushing out to the edge. If you get a little bubble in here and it gets too big, you can just pinch it. That's okay, perfectly fine. But you're trying to get that air fed into the Cornicione. Out to the ring, the crown around the outside of the pizza. Alright, this looks like it's about ready to be stretched. So, I'm not real fancy. I'm not going to do the spinning or anything like that. I'm a novice at this. I mean, I've done maybe 20 pizzas. So, I'll be lucky to do just the slap and drag method, which is what I'm going to do here. So in order to do that, you stretch it, you slap it, you turn it. Stretch it, slap it, 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 turn it. People that have been doing this longer can do this a lot faster. Again, I'm a neophyte, a tyro. So now we'll just kind of, we don't want to grab the cornicione, you want to grab just inside it, because you don't want to disturb that. A little more flour into there. So now I'm just going to kind of go around the edge and stretch it and turn it and stretch it and turn it. I want this to be about 12 inches so that I can top it, and then I can add another inch once I get it on. Once I get it on my peel. Well, it's actually a little over 12 inches, so that's perfect. Alright, next thing we do is we make a loud noise. Next thing we do is we mix up our sauce, because remember that's got oil in it and we need to kind of mix it all together. And I'm going to use 1.5 spoons. So there's the first spoon. And just start spreading it. Go out, outward from the inside. You don't want to overdo this or get past the cornicione, but you also don't want there to be any white spots. Alright, just a little bit more. I'm going to get maybe a half more spoonful. That's 11 spoonful. It's showing my age. Alright, here we go. Right up to the edge of the cornicione. Yes, sir. Here we go. Alright, that's looking pretty good. That's my sauce. Next thing, cheese. Now this is called Cubetti. And Cubetti is cubes. These are cubes, little cubes. You can also do Julienne, which are long matchsticks. You can do pretty much whatever you want. What I don't like doing, at least my personal preference, are the fettine. And fettine are slices, like you would see in a caprese salad. I prefer this. I just think this makes a better margherita pizza. So I'm just going to put this on here. Some people might add some Romano or Parmigiano before this. I like to put my Parmigiano on as one of my last steps. Again, a lot of this is personal preference. I think you got that idea. And this is about one ball, I think it's around 8 ounces, of Fior di Latte. It's Grande, made in Wisconsin. It's cow's milk, not bufala, and it's delicious. In fact, this might be a little too much. No, not too much cheese! There probably is such a thing as too much cheese, but not sure I've ever experienced it. Alright, about done here. And that'll about do it. That last one's for me. Now we're going to put the basil on here. This is fresh basil, like I did with the sauce. I don't like the stems. And this isn't an oil painting. A lot of people get real fancy with this. I don't. I say fancy schmancy. My hands are a little wet. Meanwhile, my oven's outside, cooking up a storm. Last I checked, it was about 650. So by the time we get out there, it ought to be nice and hot and ready about 800 degrees. You're going to love that. This one's got a little stem on there. This is okay. So we're going to keep going here, and we're about done. Also, a lot of people put the basil on at the end, after the pizza is baked. I don't do that only because, maybe I'm wrong, but I think if you cook the basil on the pizza's only in the oven for maybe 90 seconds. So if you cook the basil on the pizza, you're going to get some of the flavor of the basil in the pizza. So that's my preference. But again, that's just me. Alright, so now we're getting to the tricky part. We're going to actually slide this. A little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano, as previously promised. Alright. So we'll make sure it still moves nice, and so far it does. And we're going to bring over the peel. Bring out the peel! Alright. So, a lot of people would just shove the peel in and then pull it out. I'm going to do this. Kind of made a botch of it there, but that's okay. We're alright. We're just fine. Kind of reapportioned things. They kind of got a little catawampus when it went onto the peel. I'll throw a little more flour under there, so we slide off nice and easily. Good thing about using this the semolina is it doesn't burn, and it's also fairly hard, so it doesn't absorb moisture real readily. All right, that's looking pretty good, and that will about do it. Time to bring this guy out to the oven. Aha! I bet you thought I forgot to put the olive oil on there. Well, I did forget to put the olive oil on there. So what you do is you make two number 6s. There's number 1, number 2. Voila! Pretty good. There you go. We've made it through the process of making pizza classica at home and have enjoyed the fruits of our labor. Some folks have commented on earlier episodes that this process looks tedious and time-consuming. Let me assure you, it definitely is more involved than picking up the phone and calling for delivery, or even driving to your favorite local pizzeria. But trust me, after you do this a couple times, it's really not that difficult, and the results are delicious. No kidding. I've had pizza all over the world, and like I mentioned in the first episode, I lived outside Naples for 3 years. And once I got the hang of the process outlined in these lessons, was able to make pizza that compares very favorably to anything I've had anywhere. Seriously. Making the dough takes around a half hour for 4 dough balls. The sauce requires maybe 15 minutes, and opening, stretching, topping, and baking the pie takes no more than 20 minutes. This means that once you've made your dough and sauce and they're in the fridge, you can bake phenomenal pizza at home in 20 minutes. That's as long as it takes you to call for delivery, and it's less time than it takes you to drive to the pizzeria, order, and eat your pizza. It's really worth the time and the effort, especially if you love pizza as much as I do. I hope you've enjoyed this change of pace from our regular programming. I'd welcome your comments and questions below. If you like this lesson, please pummel the thumbs up icon. If you haven't done so, I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to my channel, and you can do this by clicking over there or on the subscribe button below. If you want to be instantly notified when new content drops, click on the bell icon. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Dennis, and this has been Pix to Flix. Ci vediamo a tutti. Ciao.